ancient voice, whispering from the void, and it chills my lightless heart.
G'day guys, Duckville here. We are up to game 4 of mouzMorroW versus moonglade in the IEM semi-finals. We've got mouzMorroW over here in the sexy Zerg red over on the 9 o'clock position. I was about to say 3 o'clock. I accidentally spun my clock around for some reason. Or the west or the left or however you like to look at it. But we've got his opponent moonglade up here in the top at the 12 o'clock of Lost Temple. This is, do keep in mind, this is actually the normal Lost Temple, not the Shattered Temple, which has just come onto ladder. And also do keep in mind that this is actually the special version of Lost Temple where the flowers actually aren't in this main area of the base, so you can't actually do that ridiculous cheating thing of that stupid thing that Blizzard left in, where the creep actually destroys the flowers inside the main base, so you can actually tell where a Zerg is straight away. So we've got, as we said, we are games, in terms of the actual games, we've got moonglade up 2-1. So if moonglade wins this one, he actually wins and will go through to the finals of IEM, which will be taking place, I believe that is sometime tomorrow morning in my time. It is Friday evening here in very cold Melbourne, but we'll see if moonglade can actually do this, and if so, I will have to stay up till tomorrow morning to watch the games if they are taking place tomorrow. I don't know, but we will see what happens. We've got a scouting drone coming out here from mouzMorroW quite early. Once again, moonglade not really into the scouting as much as mouzMorroW is, and as we can see, he will notice that drone is about to come in here, but mouzMorroW is going to be able to scout out quite quickly, as opposed to moonglade, who does not have a scout at all just yet. He's going to need to send one pretty quickly, I would think, but he is essentially, once again, these guys being very copycatish, actually getting the exact same builds. mouzMorroW doing a little bit of harass here. We've mentioned mouzMorroW's harass with his drones here. He's actually doing a different style of harass here, where you actually put the drone on the minerals and then just sort of stop it, so that the drone takes up the time of the mineral patch, but then moonglade's drones won't be able to get onto the patch until it stops. Very technical sort of thing here for your very high level players. I think Boxer actually started something like this just in GSL I think it was a few days ago or last week or something like that, where he actually started doing that with some SCVs, and of course, being Boxer, he has about an APM of 7 billion, so he's someone who can actually do that quite successfully. Speaking of APM, let's have a quick look at how these guys are going. moonglade currently sitting there on an average of 267, around about 300 at the moment for his actual APM. It's going to drop down though just a tiny bit for the moment while not too much happens. Speaking of what is happening, Baneling Nest coming up here from mouzMorroW, so he's going to get the Banelings up and try and go for quite an early Baneling bust here, but it looks as if moonglade has actually got his own Zerglings out already, and I would suspect that he's actually, it looks as if moonglade maybe just be going for very heavy Zergling pressure right at the start here. As you can see, he's going to get these 6 Zerglings in and try and do what he can, but it looks as if mouzMorroW's got his own just for the moment. As you can see on the production tab, we've got speed on the way for both of these guys. moonglade is going to finish just a slight second earlier, I would say, and the difference is that he's not going to have his Banelings for quite a while compared to mouzMorroW. He's going to have his right now. As you can see here, they're going to morph on the ramp. They're going to be ready shortly, and he's definitely going to be able to defend against anything that comes in from moonglade. So it's interesting to consider that no scouting aspect of moonglade's play. I'll be interested to see if that actually has any factor in the actual this early game tech here. But it looks as if moonglade's just got his he's got his one spine crawler going up here. But if we have a quick look here, moonglade getting inside, busting up that Baneling though, so he's not really going to get too far inside. Meanwhile, just over here we do see that because moonglade was aware of the Banelings quite early there, he's got 2 queens sitting on the ramp here. These guys are the bouncers of this particular club. They're not going to let anything inside. The spine crawler, in fact, reburrowing itself a lot closer to the ramp, so it'll be able to pick off anything that tries to come through. And as you can see, his own Baneling Nest is now done as well, and a couple of Banelings are out. Meanwhile, we've got a little bit of a Zergling battle here. These guys are playing chasey. These moonglade's Zerglings are running around the map. They don't have too much health, so they will be caught out here. And as you can see, mouzMorroW is actually going to go for his hatchery quite shortly. So mouzMorroW has a slight contain on moonglade for the moment, given that he's sort of hold him up outside, as we can see here, although now he is actually retreating. but just that slight contain, because there was the threat of the banelings initially on anything moonglade tried to push out. But as you can see, moonglade's going to be well aware that this hatchery is now up and running. He still doesn't actually have an overlord anywhere near mouzMorrow's base, but of course now that the queen is all out, there's no way that an overlord's going to get inside. He's going to need to get a drone or a zergling or something like that just inside the base to see if he can actually scout anything out. But not really sure if that's going to happen for the moment. It looks as if moonglade's sticking with this one base play for the moment. Here he does have a creep chim around. Now this is an interesting part of Zerg versus Zerg, is whether to actually start spreading your creep. It's something where you do need to consider the fact that, of course, wherever your creep is, your opponent is going to be doing a lot faster on their actual movement as well. So you need to think about if it's actually going to be better for you or better for him. So it really depends on your micro, I would say. But we're going to see a little bit of a battle here. The creeper, meanwhile, just spreading inside. It looks as if he's got that natural cover. But we've got a battle happening here. The moonglade banelings are coming across. Actually detonates on a whole heap of the mouzMorrow zerglings there. But it looks as if he's going to get inside. He does have 3 banelings waddling their way inside. The queen's going to do what she can to actually stop this. Beautiful split up of the drones there from mouzMorrow. We actually got them all over the place. This is one method you can use to do this, guys. I'm not sure if too many people actually know this, but what you can do, you grab all your drones, press S for stop, and then when you actually get that little idle worker thing, you can actually press F1 and start spamming out your workers in little circles, and you'll get them out spread nice and evenly. But speaking of nice and even, look at these baneling battles here. They're blowing up all over the place. This is worse than some sort of World War II documentary. This is going off all over the place. Another spine crawler just going up here for mouzMorrow. He's going to make sure that that natural is protected. Of course, we do have some drones transferring over to the natural expansion now that this is finally up and running and perhaps a little bit protected. But looks as if mouzMorrow is going to try and poke in to see what he can, but gets counter poked by this spine crawler. This is worse than Facebook over here. And the natural hatchery is going up for moonglade. So he's going to have this up and running. Of course, his economy is going to be a little bit behind where mouzMorrow's is for the moment. And it looks as if mouzMorrow is not going to let this go up too easily. But he's got some zerglings inside. Another massive baneling explosion. Moonglade losing a lot of his lings there too. Those two banelings that actually got inside. And it looks as if he's going to try and counter with his own pressure here. And these 3 banelings, we've got to keep an eye on those guys and what they're up to. But the zerglings, meanwhile, are just trying to do what they can. And these banelings are not going to get too far because the spine crawler is probably going to poke away at them. No, one of them actually gets inside. The drones are going to be in big trouble here because the zerglings are here as well to take care of any of the drones that are left around. And a huge actual splash there from one of moonglade's banelings actually takes out a lot of mouzMorrow's zerglings. So these guys are amazingly even on the way they're actually detonating their banelings compared to what you would normally see in this type of game. As you can see on the income tab, we've actually got just almost the exact same harvesters. We've got 17 for moonglade and 21 for he's just jumped up just a tiny bit. If we have a quick look on the unit tab, we've got that also sort of really quite even here. It looks as if mouzMorrow does have a slight advantage here. His spine crawler unfortunately just burying itself now. The banelings do get inside. He's going to try and detonate on the zerglings, which are clustered up, which is quite unfortunate. Loses about 7 zerglings there to that one baneling, and we're going to have more coming in shortly, I would assume. We've got a couple here and a couple more morphing in. So moonglade's really going to have to be on his micro here to make sure he does not lose any more zerglings, because he is starting to fall down in the army stakes. As we can see here up on the army tab, we've got moonglade on 38 supply to the 49 of mouzMorrow. Every time I say actually some of the numbers, they actually jump straight up here. As you can see though, moonglade has come up to 48, mouzMorrow on 52, so they're sort of just keeping in touch with each other, although mouzMorrow will be slightly ahead. mouzMorrow now actually supply stuck for the moment here. He's got a couple of overlords. He's got one overlord on the way, but he's a little bit busy at the moment. He's trying to get his forces inside. Brings the banelings in the front. They do get poked away by the spine crawler. Roaches have been brought out from moonglade. He's going to use those to defend against any of the banelings. Just notice there that the spine crawler, not the spine crawler, the creep tumor actually got exploded there by the detonating baneling. So that's actually going to lose a little bit of the creep here. I think just this tiny bit here will actually be lost for moonglade, but it's not really of too much consequence. As we mentioned before, when you're spreading a creep, it actually is a little bit of a contest there to see who can actually micro better on the creep or off the creep. But We see that one Zergling actually gets inside, so mouzMorrow's going to perhaps scout a little bit. No, he's not. He's just going to let that one die down. He probably didn't actually know that it got inside. But we've got, once again, this is a fantastic contest from these two players. mouzMorroW now actually ahead in the supply count. I would say that's because he's got a lot of these roaches out, but he's now at 68, just supply blocks for the moment, and mouzMorroW currently at 55, although bringing a few more units out. So let's have a quick look at what's happening inside the bases. We've got nothing really too much happening. Both of these guys just really sort of just trying to make sure that their economies are just slightly ahead of each other, but you've just got to be careful, of course, of the technology and the actual army that they have, because if your opponent gets ahead of you in the tech, that can really be a huge detriment. Speaking of detriment, check that out, 6 slings going down there, and the spine crawler has reburrowed itself. So both of these guys now got a lot of roaches here. Just notice the micro there from mouzMorroW pushing his roaches into the roaches of mouzMorroW, just making sure that mouzMorroW couldn't actually run at this spine crawler. I think this spine crawler definitely will go down though, as we can see here, trying to poke away at these roaches, but they will get inside. One bailing up the top, keep an eye on that guy. He's going to try and get into those Zerglings, but I don't think he's going to be able to here. Attempts to get through, but the snipe from one of the roaches there, brilliant play there by mouzMorroW, doing a great job with his micro on all of his units. It's just fantastic to see that sort of skill in these guys here. Of course, the best of the best there at IEM. Of course, not really including too many Koreans. Of course, there is Squirtle, who's a fantastic player, but we'll see. Of course, these guys who are in their own right, some fantastic players. More roaches moving in here from mouzMorroW. He's got a whole heap of them now. There is a great amount of roaches here for mouzMorroW. Although the Zergling count will hinder mouzMorrow's progression here with his roaches. Although his own Zerglings are now coming through here, they're going to get inside and perhaps try and surround the roaches of mouzMorroW. But they do move back against the Vespene gas, and they will lose a lot of their surface area, which will be good for countering those Zerglings. But it looks as if he has fended that off for the moment. Putting down one spine crawler is mouzMorroW. He's going to need that one to help defend against all of these roaches that are continually popping out from mouzMorroW. These overlords, not sure where they're going. He's going to need them to be quite careful of where they go, because this queen can pop out and just take some shots at those overlords. And if you lose them in a Zerg versus Zerg battle, let me tell you, I have done a few of them in my time, but not too many, of course, not as many as these guys. But if you lose your overlords, especially in this kind of circumstance where they're all split up like this, you can actually get quite behind and be in a lot of trouble. We can see here that a Zergling did get inside. He's going to be able to spot what is happening inside mouzMorrow's base, rather. He does see that the lair tech is on the way. Let's see if mouzMorroW decides to counter with his own lair tech. They have both been stuck on just basic hatchery tech for the moment, because this has been an insane Baneling and Zergling battle for the most part, but it has started to transition into roaches. As we can see, mouzMorroW with his +1 to his missile attacks there will be done shortly. His lair is now done. This is the part where we will see, he's going to go for the roach upgrades. I was going to be a bit surprised if he went for Mutalisk, but it's not perhaps the best strategy at the moment, because as we know, if your opponent gets some Mutalisks out, one great way to counter is to get some Infestors, which if I am not to be mistaken, may be one of the next progressions for these players here. But we'll see if the game goes that far into the Roach Infestor battle, which can be a great load of fun to see. But we got +2 weapons on the way from mouzMorroW. He's going to have that done shortly. His Roach speed is just about half done, so he's going to have that out, and his Roaches will be doing a great job of running around the map and providing a lot of harass, as we can see here. And Overseer is just out for mouzMorroW. He's going to try and scout out what he can. Do not be surprised if he puts some contaminates down on the hatcheries. If he gets inside and actually stops this pretty quickly, he may be able to stop these larvae from spawning. He does get in. He's not going to block it though, but he is going to be able to get in position to block it in future. He does see that the +1 weapons is on the way. You can see that the evolution chamber is sort of doing that throbbing motion that they do when the Zerg buildings are doing something. Puts the contaminate down. He's going to slow that down for the moment. So it's a nice little play there from mouzMorroW. Do not be surprised if he keeps that up for the rest of the game. He spends a lot of his micro, as you can see here. He's got a whole heap of it too. He's got 210 average APM at the moment. Spends a lot of his micro actually scouting out with these Overseers once he gets them inside your base and putting down contaminate, which is really cool to see because it's a really underused skill. But He's scouting out for the moment what is happening here, how many roaches are at the front for mouzMorroW, and the Overseer just being a little bit annoying there, doing a bit of a patrol back and forth, just pulling out the queen from the hatchery, perhaps just seeing if he can distract mouzMorroW for the moment. However, mouzMorroW doing his own Contaminate harass here. This Overseer getting inside, chucking down the Contaminate on the lair, so that one is not going to produce those bonus larvae for the moment, or even let mouzMorroW actually put in his inject larva. He's going to get it inside here. mouzMorroW has got 3 Overseers now. He's going to do what he can, putting down 2 Contaminates. This is a fantastic play. Love seeing this sort of stuff from these high-level Zerg players. This is all this sort of Contaminate shenanigans, and he's going to be denying that that progression of the +2 weapons from mouzMorrow's roaches for the moment. Looks as if we've got to move out here from the roaches of mouzMorroW. He's going to try and get a good surface area. Got to make sure that you spread quite nicely along this this little dense little path here, and it looks as if mouzMorroW is going to be in a great position himself. He's got a nice concave, he's got a few Hydralisks at the back, but the +2 weapons may be the deciding factor of this particular battle. mouzMorroW pushing in here. He is starting to win the battle. He is getting inside. His roaches are still taking a lot of damage themselves. Of course, the drones coming out here, that is a big sign that you're quite concerned about how the battle is going to go. Drones dying left, right, and center, and it looks as if mouzMorroW may actually win this battle. It depends how the reinforcements come about from mouzMorroW, although he does fend it off, but lost a whole heap of drones, as we can see here from the unit tab. mouzMorroW actually sitting here on a lowly 23 drones after losing a whole batch of them right there. mouzMorroW and mouzMorroW currently up at 44. Do not be surprised if mouzMorroW actually heads out to take a third base, but we'll see if he does go out. I will be actually considering the position of these roaches. He may be going for a secondary attack. He may know that mouzMorroW is still quite weak. He does not have his +2 to weapons just yet, so his roaches are going to be doing a little bit more damage than mouzMorrow's roaches are. Here they come. He's got these Overseers over the top just in case any burrow comes along from mouzMorroW. mouzMorrow, I don't know. But we've got the battle going along here again. Contaminates going off on the lair there, the hatchery, sorry, of mouzMorroW. And as you can see, drones once again being pulled by mouzMorroW. He's going to lose all of them again. Just getting absolutely destroyed in the work account at the moment. Roaches looks like they will be winning the battle here for mouzMorroW. I think that will be it, and we will have mouzMorroW moving through these particular semis in the IEM and progressing on to the next set of games. And well, GG, well played there from mouzMorroW. Great little ending to this particular game with a huge battle right at the end there with the roaches and the hydras, and of course some of the drones actually coming out there from mouzMorroW. So fantastic set of games there. Great to see an Aussie progressing on the high-end scale of StarCraft 2. Make sure you tune in to IEM when the next set of matches goes ahead, and I'll be doing so myself as well, because I actually do have some time now to watch, and we'll see if mouzMorroW can pull off any more victories at IEM. Let's hope he does. Make sure you subscribe, leave any feedback. If you want to see anything else from IEM in particular, let me know. I'll be trying to get a couple more games on the channel as soon as I can. But I thought I'd crank these ones out pretty quickly because they were very, very cool. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.